Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just read out there a little bit more. With that being said, let's get right into the video. All right, how y'all doing? I hope y'all doing good. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, make sure you take your shoes off before you come in the house. And the Charlotte Hornets put up 133 points in this game against the Indiana Pacers. And this is like their third game straight where they hit like 20 plus threes. So they are definitely on a heater. But it's not just them hitting shots. They run sets, they run plays, they run actions that get their shooters open and get their guys space. They have the correct spacing on most plays. And they do a lot. Like Charles Lee's the first coach under the Joe Mazzulla coaching tree. So shout out to Charles Lee. He has his team running, and there are a lot of similarities in the Hornets offense and the Celtics offense. I will say the Hornets run more organized offense, but let's get into it. So I'll let the play run first and then I'll explain it. All right, so their first play of the game, the Charlotte Hornets go to stagger, reject, SCS. Again, they do a lot of things to get Brandon Miller and Concanibble in scoring or shooting positions. Concanibble set the all-time rookie record for threes in the season. In this game, he had like 7 in this game. He came in needing 6, I believe. All right, so the first part of this play is the stagger, reject. Stagger screens are 2 of the same off-ball screens set with just a little bit of space in between them. So you see Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate are setting the exact same screen. Concanibble's in the corner, you just can't see him, and you see the little bit of space in between them. Usually the shooter will come out, use both screens. They can either like twirl this one and they have this guy come out, but there's a lot of things you could do with stagger screens, but this time they rejected. Concanibble's not going to use it. They're going to have Miles Bridges come out to the top and get the ball. Now the STS stands for screen to screener, so it's just when somebody screens and then they get cleaned up with the screen for them. So Concanibble is going to set this back screen right here, and Concanibble has been really effective as a screener this season. And just shooters in general are usually effective screeners because it causes so much confusion on the defense, and their guy doesn't usually want to leave them. Then they have to switch and they do all this stuff. So Concanibble is going to set this back screen for Miles Bridges to cut, and then Moussa Diabate is going to come over here and he's going to screen for him. So that happens, boom, boom, and then Concanibble can even shoot this ball as he was hiding this game, or he's also not just a shooter. So a lot of stuff can just turn into pick and roll, right? So as Moose rolls, the tag man here is Jarris Walker. He comes into the paint, leaving Brandon Miller wide open. This play does not end in a make, but the process was beautiful. All right, so here the Charlotte Hornets go to a very detailed play. This is chin flex zoom. All right, so to start this play, the Charlotte Hornets do a lot of outcut entries. So outcut entries, you've heard me. If you've been around my channel, you've heard of stack out, you've heard of horns out. So stack out, what the Celtics usually do is when there's somebody stacked on top of somebody else and they outcut. So an outcut is when somebody cuts out to the wing, so they can outcut to this wing or they can outcut to this wing. So stack out, again, is them just stacked on top of each other, and this guy sets a screen for this guy to outcut somewhere. We also have horns out. Again, horns alignment is 2 people at or near the elbows of the free throw line, but it's the same concept every time. So no matter what they're lined up in, it's the big man right here setting the screen for this guy to outcut to either wing. Our series gonna outcut, go to the wing, ball goes there. Next is the chin cut. So a chin cut is when somebody passes the ball and that player that passed the ball receives a high post back screen so he can cut opposite. So this could be to the opposite block. If there's somebody that you want to get into the post, or this could be to the opposite corner, but somebody receiving a high post back screen so they can go and cut opposite. So LaMelo Ball passes the ball, boom, gets that screen. So after that, we got flex action. Flex action has 2 parts to it. So after LaMelo Ball uses that chin, he gets right into this flex screen. So a flex screen is usually a screen for somebody in the corner or the short corner, which Brandon Miller is here, and he's gonna use this baseline screen right here to either cut baseline right here or cut inside right here to the same area. So if this play is for Brandon Miller, this flex screen will get him in like great position right here to get a layup. Now the second part of flex action is this pin down. So it's the screener action. So LaMelo Ball right here is the first screen. Of course, Brandon Miller is gonna go over there, and then next is this pin down screen that Miles Bridges is gonna set, and then LaMelo Ball is going to come off that. So the first part is the screen, the flex screen, then he's going to receive the pin down. But here, this is the zoom action. So zoom action is an off-ball screen for somebody to go receive a dribble handoff. So we got the off-ball screen for LaMelo. Then he's going to get the zoom action with that dribble handoff right there. Then we have great action by the Charlotte Hornets right here. So as the roll happens, right, there's 2 on the ball, right? So we got Jarris Walker chasing LaMelo, and we got Jay Huff worrying about LaMelo Ball. So that means we have a 2-on-1 with Moose rolling and the guy on the wing. And this puts Obi Toppin in a really tough position because his man is out on the wing, but he has to tag this roll so he doesn't get an easy layup. Whichever player he chooses to defend, LaMelo Ball will go to the opposite one. So right there, he tags Moose, but the pass out there to the wing is 3. All right, so here we're going to start in Hornets alignment. Again, 2 people at or near the elbows of the free throw line. Then we're going to have the chin cut right here. So we're going to have LaMelo pass the ball. The person that passed the ball gets a high post back screen to cut opposite. And sometimes, based on where the play is going, they'll cut the chin cut short. So if the play is going to the side that LaMelo ball is cutting to, he'll just cut it short and he'll space out to the corner. So as you see that right here, he's going to receive the screen, but the play is coming to this side, right? So after Brandon Miller gets this single pin down right here, which is a single part, he comes off this. In the event that he can't get a shot off this and they have to get into a pick and roll or something like that, if LaMelo ball was standing right here while Brandon Miller's running a pick and roll and Moose is rolling right here, it's just going to be clogged up right there. So he spaced out to the corner. Brandon Miller gets the single pin down right there from Moose, and he's able to get the 3 off. All right, so here the Hornets do give up a dunk, but after the made basket, they use a shallow cut to get an easy bucket. All right, so one of the perks of playing with pace on the offensive side, when you play really fast, the opposing team is backpedaling and they don't have time to get their preferred matchup. So you see as they score, well, after they score, as they're running back, you see Andrew Nembhard's pointing, everybody's pointing, trying to get the matchups. But then at some point, they can't get the preferred matchups because you play so fast. And at a time, they just have to pick up. So you see Potter, he's pointing at first, but then he's like, all right, I got ball. They obviously don't want Michael Potter guarding Brandon Miller, so that means there's a mismatch elsewhere. But here is a shallow cut. So they're running, right? They're already at the opposite 3-point line with 20 seconds left, but a shallow cut is a cut under a rolling teammate. So you see LaMelo Ball as Moussa Diabate is diving right to the paint. He's going to cut under, and it just creates so much confusion for the defense. It's usually in a pick and roll, but you see how fast the Hornets are playing. And Moussa Diabate sees that Quentin Jackson is here. Andrew Nembhard picks up LaMelo Ball, but again, it just creates so much confusion for the defense. Andrew Nembhard, they just end up putting 2 on the ball. You see the 2-1 situation right here with Moose and LaMelo Ball. And the shallow cut creates this angle for Moose right here. So as LaMelo Ball goes through, right, they switch this. Quentin Jackson is now on LaMelo Ball. But you see right here, they end up just putting 2 on the ball. And Moose is able to get inside position because Quentin Jackson was going out to LaMelo Ball. So now he has this whole side to himself, and a great pass by Brandon Miller. All right, so the Charlotte Hornets just played really good, simple, advantageous basketball. So they have another switch, which means somebody's going to come to help. Quentin Jackson finds himself in another cover 2 situation. And when Kalkbrenner catches the ball, he stays patient and he waits to see who Quentin Jackson gravitates to. So you see he's going down to the corner to Concanipple. As soon as he steps over there, pass goes to Grant Williams. Good pass by Grant and a 3 by Con. All right, so the Hornets are going to go to their L series for Concanipple. All right, so the first time I saw this with the Hornets, this was early in the season, and I was like, wait, that looks very familiar. And it's because Concanipple was running off this same set at Duke in college. So great job by the Charlotte Hornets, bringing something that Con is familiar with to the NBA so he can be comfortable and they can maximize his effectiveness. So they call it L series because it literally just makes an L. It's not like perfect L, but you see the L series right there. Concanipple in the corner, as you will see. So this is kind of like a zipper screen. So the Celtics will usually what a zipper screen is, it's just one screen where somebody gets a screen and then they can zipper cut up to the top of the key. But what L series is they're using 2 screens, right, for Con to jet and come over here and get the ball at the top of the key. If he's wide open like this, of course, he's going to shoot the ball. If not, they get into a pick and roll, but great job by the Hornets here. All right, so the Hornets are going to go to 77 action. All right, so here 77 is just 2 on-ball screens, so the ball's gonna get to LaMelo. You got the first screen by Concanipple right here, and then we're gonna have Kalkbrenner come and set the second on-ball screen. And with such a dynamic offensive player like LaMelo Ball, who's a huge part of their offense, getting guys involved and getting himself involved with some threes usually. This is really good action, especially against the Pacers, who have their bigs up to the level most of the time. Sometimes they're going to hedge, but this guy, they really don't want to switch this if they can help it. So there will be a tick or like half a second or a second where 2 players will be on the ball with TJ McConnell following LaMelo Ball and him, which is Jay Huff in this situation, the screen defender up on LaMelo, which again causes a 2-on-1 situation with Kalkbrenner rolling and Concanipple right here coming out to the wing. And again, Cam Jones, this tagger, has to decide which one he wants to guard. But on this play, LaMelo Ball just shoots a 3 over TJ McConnell. I sure looked like the Hornets were going to go to zone, but some good player recognition gets Concanipple 3. All right, so here they get the ball to Kalkbrenner. It looks like they're going to go to zoom action. Zoom again, which we saw earlier, is an off-ball screen for somebody to go receive a dribble handoff. So it looks like Con Not Khan, but Kalkbrenner is sitting here getting ready to be the handoff passer. It looks like Khan is gonna come over here, set this screen for Grant Williams to go get the handoff. Hey, shout out Grant Williams, man, doing this thing with the Hornets right now, former Celtic. But if you had a choice to give Grant Williams the ball or Con Knipple, you're probably choosing Con Knipple. And Grant Williams knows that. He's a good teammate, so he's gonna twirl this first screen, right? So he's not gonna come get the handoff. He's gonna twirl this first screen, and he's gonna screen for Con. And Con's gonna come out right here. Kobe Brown switches onto Con Knipple, but he has his hands down as he comes out, and Con just shoots right off the catch. All right, so the Hornets are going to go back to Horns Chin Flex Zoom. All right, here we got the Hornets line with two people at or near the elbows of the free throw line. Grant Williams is going to come out, and of course, high post back screen. The chin cut right here is going to cut to the opposite block. All right, got boom, back screen from Kalkbrenner, and again, the flex screen right here. LaMelo Ball is going to set the same screen he did for Brandon Miller. Sion James is going to cut baseline, and again, the second part of flex is this pin down right here. Is usually this guy will come out, and if he has a shot, he'll shoot it, but the Hornets have used this 2 times for zoom action. So he sets the flex screen right there. See Quinn Jackson right there. They switched that, right? But watch what LaMelo does. So he has a little bit of space here if he just jets off this, right? But he sees that he's on him, so he's going to stop for a second, and then he's going to jet off this. Again, zoom, off-ball screen for somebody to go receive a dribble handoff. We got LaMelo getting the ball right there. And again, we talk about this pick and roll coverage from the Pacers. Jay Huff is going to show. He's going to be aggressive in this. He's going to be to the level. There's going to be somebody chasing the ball handler. So there's going to be 2-on-1 opportunities in the pick and roll for the Charlotte Hornets. And as Kalkbrenner is diving right here, rolling to the rim, Obi Toppin, who is Grant Williams, man, he's forced to tag, which leaves Grant Williams wide open for the 3. All right, so something the Charlotte Hornets use a ton in their offense is ghost screens. They usually do it with Con, Brandon Miller, but here Grant Williams has a perfect one. So a ghost screen is when somebody comes up to an on-ball defender and they just go to screen, they go under it, and they get out to the 3-point line. So Grant Williams is going to act like he's going to set that screen. He's just going to ghost it right there. A good pass by LaMelo, good shot by Grant. All right, so the Charlotte Hornets are going to use that ghost screen again, but this time they're going to go to flat ghost. You see, everything's just flat, right? Brandon Miller's flat right here, just waiting to creep up to use the ghost screen. Guys over here are flat. They're just standing there, right? So the last one was like a semi-transition. Grant Williams ran up and set that ghost screen right there to get to the wing. Here, they're just going to slow play it. We see Andrew Nembhard is on the right side of Brandon Miller. So we have this opening to this side, right? So as he creeps up to the screen, though, it looks like the Pacers are preparing to switch this. So Andrew Nembhard is creeping up right here. You see Ben Shepherd is angling himself to this side to let Kobe White get right there, right? But this opening, all this space right here, Brandon Miller is going to ghost right there. He's going to put his back on a small defender and score. All right, so the Charlotte Hornets go back to Horns Chin Single. All right, so again, Hornets alignment, 2 people at or near the elbows of the free throw line. They're going to get the ball to the wing out here to Josh Green. Then the chin cut, again, somebody who just passed the ball, sees the high post back screen, and they're going to cut opposite. But again, we saw in the first play, LaMelo Ball had cut off this chin cut, right? But if the play is going to that side, that person's going to cut it short, and then they're going to go to the corner. Because again, like we see on this play, the last time Brandon Miller was just able to catch this ball right here, and he had an open 3. But in the event that he can't catch and shoot this and they get into a pick and roll, if Kobe White was to just stay right there, he's going to be in the way of Moose's roll or Brandon Miller either getting downhill. So he's going to go to the corner, they get into a pick and roll, and Brandon Miller scores. All right, so here they go to Horns out entry just to get into a really spaced pick and roll. We're going to have Horns again right here, and then the out cut after this screen for LaMelo Ball to get to the wing. So we have that, Horns, screen, boom. And then look at the spacing on this. We got Moose in a dunker spot. We got Connor in the corner. And then we're going to have Brandon Miller space out to the hash. And look at all this space on this empty pick and roll, right? So we're going to have the ghost screen right there. He's going to get it, and he's going to have an opportunity to score. All right, so the Hornets go to the same play. This time they start in stack out entry instead of Horns out. Same thing. Just going to have a screen right here so he can outcut to the wing. And my favorite plays are the ones where you can get multiple reads. You get multiple ways to score off the same play. So again, we got the same play right here. Great spacing on the pick and roll. But show last time he was able to set the screen, ghosted, and he was able to score in the paint. But this time we got LaMelo Ball being his dynamic self to snatch back in the long 3. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They go back to Horns Chin Flex Zoom. So we got the Horns right there. Got the chin cut, high post back screen, cut opposite, flex screen right there for Con Knipple. And then LaMelo Ball is going to receive this pin down, but they're going to use it for zoom action. And something else that the Hornets are really good at is getting these good release angles on screen. So we saw them use the ghost screens, but this is kind of like a step-up screen. A step-up screen is a screen angle to the opposite baseline. So it's going to be a really flat screen, but they're going to be facing the opposite baseline, right? And we know that the Pacers have aggressive pick and roll coverages, and they usually give the tail, right? So you see Quinn Jackson right here. You see how this switch pocket is opened up? Quinn Jackson is preparing to switch this already because he's on the back side of Brandon Miller, right? So Brandon Miller has a release angle right here. If he just comes right here, gets into the show roll, he can get the ball and he can create. All right, so they're going to use the L series again for Brandon Miller to zipper up. You see the L right there, and Brandon Miller is just going to zipper up to the top of the key. Then he's going to be the pick and roll handler in this action. They're going to go to Spain replace. Now this is a version of Spain pick and roll. So if you've been around my channel at all, anytime you see me break down the Celtics offense, the Spain pick and roll is a big part of that. The Spain pick and roll is an on ball screen, and then we're going to have a back screen on the ball screener's man. So this guy's going to roll, and this guy after the back screen is going to go out to the three. But the replace is when they just don't set the back screen and they just replace. So they go right here out to the three, and this guy's going to roll, and it causes confusion with this man right here, because again, we know the Indiana Pacers are going to play aggressive pick and roll defense. So there's two on the ball right now. So if Moose rolls right here, this guy has a decision to make. Is he going to stop this layup, or is he going to go out and follow his shooter? Moose is able to get the ball in the show roll and do a Euro step, I believe. I'm not into the travel rules. He took 3 steps. I don't know if this is a part of the gather or whatever, but good move by Moose either way. All right, so the Hornets going to go to stack out flip flare. All right, so they're going to go to stack out, get LaMelo. That's not LaMelo Ball, it's Brandon Miller. They're going to go to stack out, and they're going to get Brandon Miller to outcut to the wing. But you see how Andrew Nembhard is playing this. And the first time I described the outcut is to either wing. So even if he was planning to go to this wing, right, it doesn't matter. So when Andrew Nembhard plays it and he knows that he's trying to get over here, he's just going to outcut back to the opposite wing. So we get it over there. Boom, and then the flip pass right there, and then the flare screen. So a flare screen is an off-ball screen usually set in between the recipient and the passer, right? So it's not always going to be a perfect like straight line, but you see right here as Kobe White passes the ball, he's going to get there, screen Andrew Nembhard, he's going to knock it down. All right, so this play is a perfect combination of some of the things that I've been talking about in this video with the Charlotte Hornets and their pick and rolls. I've been talking about their release angles after the screens and then the spacing on the pick roll. So Keon James is going to set this really high screen above the three-point line. But look at the spacing here. Kobe White is at the logo. Conkin was at the logo. Then you have 2 guys in the corner, right? So when Keon James inevitably gets into this short roll right here, it's going to create so many long closeouts and impossible cover 2 situations with Knipple at the logo. So sets the screen, gets the release angle, right? So you see him, he's going to push right here. You see how open this switch pocket is, right? So he's going to be able to push right here and release right under this. And TJ McConnell switching, so he's not going to be able to get back to Keon James. You see Keon James has the inside leverage right there after he sets the screen. So that means that Michael Potter has to come off the corner, and then Quinn Jackson finds himself in another cover 2 situation, man. It's just not an ideal situation for anybody. But then he has to come down to the corner, and this long close out here for Cam Jones is not good, and Conkin hits another 3. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Charlotte Hornets go to the same play. This time Kobe White rejects it. They get another scoring option off the same play. All right, so lastly, the Hornets going to go to pop gut zoom. All right, so Moose is going to set the screen. He's going to pop out to the top. And gut action is when somebody is usually under the basket or near being under the basket, and they're going to cut up, and they're going to usually go get a dribble handoff. So this is where the zoom comes in at. Con goes into the paint in the middle, usually the gut of the paint. But then he's going to receive that zoom action right there, the off-ball screen with somebody to go get a dribble handoff, and he's going to hit another 3. But that is a video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everyone that you can. Just swing it out there a little bit more. Now we'll see you guys in the next video. This is Nick. Peace.